changed and been part of many homes. There's Millennial Grey, which is identified by its neutral, cool tones like grey, and identified, as I did say, both grey and beige and minimalist style. Love that. However, that trend is dying out and more people are adding colors and personalized characters back in their home. This trend is called dopamine decor. We talk about how to take your home from millennial grey to dopamine decor with interior designer Adonai Mankou. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
So blessed. And how are you?
I am good. I saw the trend. I think it's very cool.
I think so as well. I think that definitely for a very long time we were in a space where everyone's spaces, homes, offices looked the same.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we were all doing the millennial greys, the beiges, and I think it came to be associated with luxury quite a bit. And now it's very exciting to see. I don't know if you've seen there, like we're in 2026, but we're saying we're in 2016. So we're bringing back a lot of things that we've left behind that we're starting to love again. And it's such an exciting time for design as well.
I still wanted to understand that 2016 thing and be like, okay, but why would we go specifically to 2016?
I think it's just like a need for nostalgia. And I think a lot of people feel that it was a simpler time, you know, pre-COVID, I think very much like BC, you know, people are now saying before COVID, after COVID. So it was definitely a time where things felt a lot simpler. Myself, for example, I was still in school. I think I was just starting university. So it felt like it was a time where the world was your oyster, really.
And I want to know, you know, you're speaking about having to associate things like grey and beiges. Why though? Apart from the fact that it was kind of seen as luxury, why did they work at the time, those colors?
It was very easy to replicate. I think very much like personal style and fashion. Everything that you wear is very specific to you, the things that you like. But if you're wanting to kind of find the sense of calm again, like we said, post-COVID, trying to find a sense of reality, trying to, you know, associate with something that feels like you're stable, it was definitely an easy thing to replicate in terms of even mass production for people making furniture, people making materials, and then, you know, from Pinterest to your home. Yeah. It was easy to then pull those inspirations inside without having to do too much thinking on what is my personal style.
Okay. So much to get through, so much to unpack. And we are going to get into this conversation further after the news. For now, we're going to take a moment and go to the news desk. But don't worry, Adonai is here. She is an interior designer, and we're talking about this interesting trend called dopamine decor.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Puleng. Top stories this hour. Clashes intensify in DRC with casualties overwhelming hospitals, and former French Minister Jacques Lang probed over Epstein ties. Good morning. Nurses at the Fizi General Referral Hospital in eastern Congo have treated a wounded soldier shot in both legs amidst escalating clashes between the army and rebel groups in the region. The fighting, largely ignored by international mediators, has intensified, complicating U.S. efforts for peace in Congo. The AFC M23 rebel group recently attacked Kisangani Airport as a revenge for government strikes. The hospital, supported by the International Committee of the Red Cross, was overwhelmed with 115 injured patients, far exceeding its 25-bed capacity, and so many patients arrive with infected wounds due to insufficient frontline medical facilities. And Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama has concluded his 3-day state visit to Zambia that's seen a number of key bilateral and development cooperation agreements being asserted in priority areas. These include agriculture and food security, energy and investment that are set to benefit not only the two nations but broadly the African continent. ICYMI in Mahama.
We are now saying that any Kenyan who earns less than 30,000 shillings will not pay any taxes. That is how progressively we are going to make sure that we manage the cost of living.
Apologies for that audio, rather onto the story now. Kenya's President William Ruto has announced that new tax relief measures aimed at easing the cost of living for low and middle income earners. Under the new proposals, workers earning up to $231 a month will be exempt from the income tax, while those earning up to $387 will see their tax rate reduced to 25%. President Ruto says that the changes will see around 1.5 million Kenyans pay no income tax.
We are now saying that any Kenyan who earns less than 30,000 shillings will not pay any taxes. That is how progressively we are going to make sure that we manage the cost of living.
And Food Forward South Africa has called for a new legislation that would require farmers, food processors and retailers to donate surplus food earlier instead of dumping it. This is as South Africa's food insecurity crisis continues to intensify, affecting even households that depend on food relief. The latest report by Food Forward South Africa, in collaboration with the University of Cape Town's Southern Africa Labour and Development Research Unit, has revealed that 70% of families face moderate to severe food insecurity, and 1 in 4 go entire days without food. Fund Development Manager for Food Forward SA, Bobby Jacobs, has urged the public to help by donating to food relief efforts.
Finding in the survey is that if people receive their grant by the 5th of the month, the grant is only lasting 2 weeks within that household. By the middle of the month, the households are struggling. And the last 2 weeks of the month, then people are starting to have to make sacrifices. What most of our organizations need is, assistance with donations. You can go to our website or any of our things and just donate.
And financial crimes prosecutors in France say they are investigating the former culture minister Jack Lang over his links to the late child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. They say they are also investigating Lang's daughter Caroline, who's recently stepped down as head of a French Film Producers Union. A statement says they are suspected of laundering the proceeds of tax fraud. A recap of your top story. Nurses in eastern Congo are treating a soldier shot in both legs amid escalating clashes between the army and the AFC M23 rebel group, with the hospital facing an influx of 115 patients, exceeding its 25-bed capacity. The fighting, largely overlooked by international mediators, complicates U.S. peace efforts and has led to attacks on medical facilities and humanitarian workers. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapelo Mahape.
SABC News. The African Perspective. This is Puleng Molebatsi on Channel Africa. Every weekend mornings to inform your weekend activities.
All right, we are back into this second hour of the show, and we are still very much conversational because we promised you just a little bit of a breather so we can go to the news desk with Matapelo Mahape for the 10 o'clock news. So now we are back, and we are talking about where we're heading with our homes. It's February, so you still have those months, 10 more months, to get your house into 2026 mode. A friend of mine was saying, every time I leave, you change something in your house. Yeah, me, I shift furniture. I don't add new pieces. But if you're that person that's constantly reinventing your home, listen to this one, okay? We're talking about what it is about this trend called dopamine decor with interior designer Adonai Mankou. Is it Mankou or Mankou? Mankou. Okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell me about easing my home into these bright, beautiful pieces. Is it anything bright and beautiful, or is it specifically pastel? Yeah, what is it?
I think homes are so personal. So it really just depends on what works for you and what it is that you're looking for. But I think easing out of the millennial gray is going to take a little bit of, soft movement. So definitely start with the pastels, see how you feel, and then you can work your way into brighter colors, prints, textures, etc.
You said print.
Prints as well, yeah.
Where would I incorporate print?
So definitely soft furnishings is a good way to start. So your pillows, throw blankets, even curtains. I mean, I'd love to walk into a home with some leopard print curtains. That would be an amazing testament to that person's personality. But definitely start with your soft finishings, your rugs, and then see how it feels, moving out of that millennial gray and, as you say, going into dopamine decor, because what it is really is picking pieces that make you happy.
Okay. Is there a way of going about it without overwhelming ourselves?
Definitely. I think don't bite the bullet in the sense that you're like, I'm painting this wall pink and that wall blue. Ease into it. Like I said, definitely.
Like one wall.
Yeah.
At a time.
One wall at a time, at least. But don't go straight for neon colors. See how you feel when you take out your beige pillows and put in some red pillows. See how you feel if the rug isn't, the standard marble looking rug, and maybe you get something that's multicolored. See how you feel what we call maximalist decor. So really interesting sculptures, really interesting art pieces, and then that can then inform the way you move into the rest of the home.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, art. I think art could ease you into that.
Absolutely.
And how far can we take this trend? Is it in specific rooms of the house and it can go all the way to the bathroom, the kitchen?
Absolutely, everywhere. I think a very interesting thing with where we're moving in design is I think we're coming back to maximalist interiors. So very much when luxury used to be having a massive portrait of your family going up the stairs and having the one room have a zebra on the floor and the other room have a tiger on the floor. So a lot of people are starting to move back into that kind of mindset, and so it starts as you go through your home. So a lot of home layouts, you go into the kitchen. So in the kitchen you can change even the colors of your plates. From the gray plates, get some pink plates. Why not? And then ease into then the living room, into the bedrooms, into the bathrooms, and it'll make a complete difference.
I like the pink plates. I mean, Valentine's Day is around the corner.
Exactly.
Maybe add red plates and cups. Let's see. Okay, and if I want to do things myself, so for example, I've got this beautiful Vasmus, and I'm like, I mean, it was fine the way it was white. Maybe I must just paint it. Or the people that like to do things with their hands, man, take this, do that. What would you recommend maybe for handy people that want to just take something and just change it? Aside from painting your wall, I mean, that of course you can just take your paint and go
True.
around it. Which part of house decor a first place to start if you are a DIYer who's very hands-on and wants to incorporate these colors into something?
I think definitely, like you said, with vases, so decorative pieces, I think it's really interesting. There's lots of activities available that you can go do ceramic painting, and you can bring those objects into your home. There's other things where, for example, you can pick up upholstery, like in the bedroom. You want to change your headboard, just go into a furniture store or fabric store rather, pick up some fabric. There's resources online. Maybe try doing some reupholstery on your headboard. A sofa might be a big undertaking, but a headboard is something you can really work your way around. Lots of kitchen things you can work out as well. Grab a piece of wood, make yourself a cutting board. Why not? It makes a fun story. You can get a really interesting shape as well. I think there's lots of classes even on how to make glassware as well. So it'd be very interesting to make your own glasses, make a mirror, for example. It's just glass and a frame. So those are the things I would suggest if you are definitely hands-on, but kind of getting into home decor DIY without completely overwhelming yourself, moving into more I would say, interesting aesthetics.
And people are making candles now. People are into candle making as a form of therapy or pastime. You could make your cute candles there in bright, beautiful colors with your beautiful shapes. The variety out there is quite cool and insane. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We are going to conclude that conversation because why? Oh, it's 11. I have to take a break. It's 11 past 10. Let me take a break. Don't go yet.
No problem.
Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of